propaganda. The CIA said other materials were restricted from being released due to copyright infringement. The large trove of materials means it will take some time for researchers to fully understand the significance, but some insights include proof that bin Laden was still an active leader in the al-Qaeda terrorist network and in contact with other leaders around the world.
A former Kentucky jail supervisor was sentenced to 10 years in prison yesterday for his role in beating the death of an inmate. Damon Wayne Hickman pleaded guilty last year to charges of excessive force, deliberately ignoring serious medical needs, and the obstruction of justice. The inmate died at the Kentucky River Regional Jail in 2013 when Hickman and an accomplice, former jail guard William Curtis Howell, violently beat 54-year-old inmate Larry Trent, who was awaiting trial on a DUI charge. The assault began when Hickman and Howell opened up Trent's cell to remove a sleeping mat. As Trent ran away from the cell, and Howell used a stun gun to subdue him. As Trent lay on the ground, prosecutors said Hickman kicked him in the ribs without justification before dragging him back to the cell and continuing the beating. Howell was convicted of charges in May and will be sentenced on December 19th. Hickman testified against him in the trial.
The United States voted no on a United Nations resolution to end its economic embargo against Cuba yesterday. The resolution was met with a vote of 191 to 2 as Israel joined the United States in voting no a year after the Obama administration chose to abstain from the vote for the first time in the 25-year history of the annual review. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley explained the change in stance, telling the General Assembly the United States would not allow trade revenue to prop up the dictatorial regime as long as the Cuban people are deprived of rights and freedoms. Cuban's Foreign Minister, Bruno Rodriguez, also spoke before the vote, describing Haley's remarks as disrespectful and stating President Donald Trump's administration lacked the slightest moral authority to criticize Cuba. Early last month, the Trump administration expelled 15 diplomats from the Cuba's Washington embassy after several U.S. diplomats experienced a strange illness while working at the embassy in Havana.
And now let's take a look at the business news. In the stocks, the Dow Jones is up 81 points, the S&P is up 0.49 points, and the Nasdaq is down 1.59 points. And now for your Long Island business news brief, Stu Leonard's has started offering same-day delivery services to customers within a 30-minute drive of its 2 Long Island stores in East Meadow and Farmingdale. The service offered through Instacart, an online ordering portal used by retailers. Connecticut-based Stu Leonard's is also offering the service at its stores in Norway, Danbury, and Newington, Connecticut, as well as in Yonkers. We'll be right back with a look at the entertainment news. This is the WHPC News Wrap-Up on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay, listen up, class. Beginning in 2017, we will be meeting at a new time, so don't forget.
Forget what?
That the Unforgettables will now be on the air from 9 to 11 p.m. Saturday nights.
Forget about it.
So then you won't forget?
Forget what?
That the Unforgettables will now be on from 9 to 11 p.m. Saturday nights.
Excuse me? I forgot what the class is about.
The Unforgettables, as always, has been about celebrating the great American popular songbook, the vocalists, musicians, and songwriters. We not only play their music, but oftentimes a legendary name or newcomer to the scene will join us for an interview. So don't forget to tune into The Unforgettables every Saturday night at 9 on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Whoa, hey man, I think I'm in the wrong classroom.
Welcome back to the WHPC News Wrap-Up. WHPC News Time 4:48. In entertainment news, Selena Gomez cheered on ex-boyfriend Justin Bieber at his hockey game yesterday in Los Angeles. The 25-year-old singer and actress was spotted wearing Bieber's jersey as she left the match at Los Angeles Valley Ice Center with a 23-year-old recording artist. Gomez arrived at the game in an all-black outfit and jean jacket, but departed wearing Bieber's New Jersey Devils jersey. She was seen smiling and hiding her face as Bieber drove them away from the ice rink, according to US Weekly. The outings follow word Gomez has split from her boyfriend, singer The Weeknd, after 10 months of dating. She and Bieber called it quits in 2014 after several years of on-again, off-again dating.
Taylor Swift teased a new song earlier today across her social media channels titled Call It What You Want. The pop star announced the song by sharing images of light brown paper with phrases written out in a typewriter font, alongside confirmation that the track will be released at midnight Eastern Time. Call It What You Want will presumably appear on Swift's forthcoming album, 6th studio album, Reputation, which is set for release on November 10th. It follows the release of songs such as Look What You Made Me Do and Ready For It, which both received music videos, and Gorgeous, which was released towards the end of October.
Amber Portwood posted a family photo yesterday amid reports she's pregnant with her second child. The 27-year-old Teen Mom OG star shared a picture with ex-fiancé Gary Shirley and their daughter, 8-year-old Leah Len, amid rumors she's expecting with boyfriend Andrew Glennon. Shirley shares 2-year-old Emil with wife Christina Anderson. Portwood referred to Shirley and Emil as family while sharing the same photo with Leah on Twitter. Portwood came to fame on the MTV series 16 and Pregnant before starring on Teen Mom.
And now, in the lighter side of news, a South Carolina woman who decided to purchase her first ever lottery ticket just before her birthday ended up winning $390,000. The North Charleston resident told South Carolina Education Lottery officials she was at the Cater Market a few days before her birthday when a $2 Lucky for Life ticket caught her eye. Quote, "I just tried it." The woman's daring attitude paid off when she matched the first 5 numbers in October 5th drawing. She did not get the lucky ball number 15, which put her in second prize category, $25,000 a year for life. The winner chose instead to accept a one-time lump sum payment of $390,000.
Wildlife authorities were summoned to an Indian village where a local man woke up to find a massive crocodile inside of his house. Dash Medkami said an unusual sound woke him up at 3 a.m. and he investigated to discover a 12-foot crocodile had invaded his home in a remote village in the state of Orissa. Medkami alerted his neighbors, who worked together to capture the big croc and tie it to a tree. Wildlife authorities were summoned to the village, and they took the massive reptile to be relocated. The crocodile was released into the Bulimia Reservoir, 37 miles from the village.
Ohio police responding to a Halloween call about an unusual trick-or-treater rounded up a loose goat perched on a daycare center's front stoop. A video shared by Centerville Police Department shows officers arriving in a residential neighborhood at about 3 a.m. on Halloween to chase after a goat reported running loose. The officers arrived to find the goat perched on a daycare center's front stoop, but the animal took off running when chased by officers. Police said they had received 2 previous calls about the goat starting just after noon Monday, but they were unable to capture the goat until they cornered it at the daycare.
We'll be right back with a look at sports and your local weather forecast. This is the WHPC News Wrap-Up on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
This portion of programming on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Office of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning at Nassau Community College, who now offers 3D printing workshops for those interested in learning the basics.
From setting up and maintaining 3D printers to common terminology and best practices on how to navigate and utilize transformative tools available on Autodesk 123. This full-day primer, particularly for educators, is being offered on Friday, November 10th. Walk away with ideas on how to incorporate 3D printing into your workplace or classroom. For more information, contact the Center for Workforce Development at 516-572-7487 or visit ncc.edu.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the WHPC News Wrap-Up. WHPC News Time, 4:54. Now for a look at sports, here's Zac Turkel.
Thanks, Mike. Well. Starting off with football. The Buffalo Bills are not just out to prove that they are the best team in the New York, New Jersey area. They have their sights set on conquering the AFC East for the first time since the Clinton administration. Buffalo will try for its 5th win in 6 games in a matchup tonight against the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. The Jets are not playing football that well. They have lost 3 straight games after blowing 14-point leads to the Patriots and the Miami Dolphins, and are being up on the Atlanta Falcons going into the 4th quarter of a 25-20 loss on Sunday. Jets cornerback Morris Claiborne said, quote, "This is a must-win, period, point blank. We have to win this game if we want to turn this around." But Claiborne may not even be out on the field for the Jets after leaving the Sunday game with a foot injury. He is questionable to play, as is defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson, who has played the past 3 games despite not practicing. Fullback Lawrence Thomas has already been ruled out due to a concussion. The Jets also may not be without Jeremy Curley, who is being suspended for an undisclosed violation. Curley is the Jets' 3rd leading receiver and had a crucial muffed point late in the loss to Atlanta. However, he did practice Tuesday and is preparing to play. And now, the baseball season has finally come to an end. The World Series is finally over. George Springer and the Houston Astros rocketed to the top of the baseball galaxy last night, winning the first World Series championship in franchise history and their 2nd World Series appearance since 2005 by romping past the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1 in Game 7, playing for a city still recovering from Hurricane Harvey and wearing an H-Strong logo on their jerseys. The Astros brought home the prize. All-Star slugger Jose Altuve said, quote, "I always believed that we could make it. We did this for them, for a series that was shaping up as an October classic. Game 7 quickly became a November clunker as Houston scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings off Yu Darvish. Well, except for everyone wearing bright orange. Back in Houston, a huge crowd filled Minute Maid Park to cheer as fans watched on the big video board, and the train whistle wailed it when it was all over." And finally, let's move over to hockey. John Tavares and the New York Islanders roll into Washington tonight to face a Washington Capitals team still forging an identity during the season, unlike their last 2. The Islanders have won 5 of their past 6 games. Tavares has 9 goals and 12 points in his past 5 games. He scored twice Monday in New York's 6-3 home win over the Vegas Golden Knights. And Horasov Halek scored 31 shots in winning his 4th straight start. New York's Josh Bailey had 3 assists for the 2nd time in 3 games, and he is tied for 6th in the league with 11 helpers. Moving on to the Rangers, the New York Rangers are still seeking their first road win of the season, and they will try to get it against tonight the Tampa Bay Lightning team that is tied for the league lead with 6 home wins. In fairness, the Rangers have played 10 of their 13 games at home, but they still take an 0-3-0 road record in the Amalie Arena, where the Lightning won their first 6 games before a loss Saturday to the Anaheim Ducks. For WHPC Sports, I'm Zac Turkel.
And now, here's your WHPC Long Island's weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 60. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a high of 68. And Saturday, partly cloudy with a low of 57. It's currently 71 degrees outside our studios in Garden City.
Thanks for listening to the WHPC News Wrap-Up. For Zac Turkel, Mindy Feivelson, and Felicia Lewis, I'm Mike Battaglia on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. But don't touch that dial because we're coming right back with Parfumi d'Italia on the 90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that if you ever wanted to be a teacher, the time is now.
So many of us thought about becoming teachers when we were little, but as we grew up, things changed. We decided to pursue other paths like nursing, architecture, even radio show hosting. Teachers today are taking learning far beyond the 4 walls of the classroom, transforming old subjects into new experiences,
and proving that greatness can be found even in everyday places. Find out more at TVED.org. teach.org.
A message from Teach, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College. 90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC wants to make sure you haven't been putting your heart under too much pressure lately.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious and your heart can quit whenever it wants.
But when it quits, you quit.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death.
Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.